Game over, man. It's game over.
And salutations and welcome to Nostalgia. Now I am, and I always will be a Nintendo guy. From the NES being the first console I ever played, to now playing the Switch with my daughters. But most importantly, there is one console I can look at and say, that is what made me fall in love. Not only fall in love with Nintendo, but gaming, and that was the SNES. One of my earliest memories is Christmas Day when I was 5, when I opened up my SNES, the SNES. My life was changed forever, so I'm going to relive my childhood, so join me as we count down my top 10 favourite SNES games. Let's get it! Now, growing up, we did have an OG NES, but really, it was my brother's console. I was maybe 2 or 3 years old, and I was just a nuisance trying to annoy them every time they wanted to play. And they would kick my ass on every single game we ever played. Mario Kart, Mortal Kombat, Killer Instinct, it didn't matter. They would never take it easy on me. I never won, except for one game. Super Bomberman. I was ace at this game. I would trap my brothers in between 2 bombs and blow them to smithereens, and they would sulk off like the moody teenagers that they were, and I would have days of gloating and being so smug. So yeah, Super Bomberman makes my list for all the little brothers out there who never got that win. God, I love the Bomberman games. In the early 90s, Macaulay Culkin was everywhere. He was rapping in Michael Jackson videos, in classic films like Uncle Buck, My Girl, Pagemaster, Getting Even with Dad, and of course, Home Alone. I bloody loved the Home Alone films, and I love this game. And I know this will not make the top 10 for anyone else out there. This is why we say top 10 favourites, not top 10 best. For me, there was nothing better than getting to be Kevin McAllister. I was racing the wet bandits on a sled before they had a chance to rob a place. I was smashing them up. It was awesome. You could get the blueprint of the house and set up all these booby traps. You could create weapons out of things that you found around the house. To a 5-year-old little G, there was nothing better than that. This game was so wizard. A lot of people would have Donkey Kong Country at the top of their list. And don't get it twisted, I bloody love this game. But I have to put it at number 8 because as a kid, damn, this game was so hard. Every single time I would have to get my brothers to complete the boss levels on this game, especially Bumblebee Rumble. That goddamn bee was impossible to get past. If you could get your head around it and you could master this game, you could enjoy one of the greatest games ever made. Getting to play multiplayer as Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong, and of course, that soundtrack. Donkey Kong Country has one of the best soundtracks ever. Ever. Absolute bangers.
Hey kids, who do you love?
Nothing in the 90s was bigger than The Simpsons. Every day I would rush home from school to record the episodes of BBC Two. I had everything Simpsons. I had the knockoff t-shirts, the VHSs, the cassette tape of Do the Bartman, and of course, the games. I have owned and I have enjoyed every single Simpsons game ever released. But the Simpsons games released on the SNES, well, they were never really great. You had Bart's Nightmare, Virtual Bart, the Itchy and Scratchy game. They were all okay. But Krusty's Funhouse, that was by far the best Simpsons game on the SNES. And I know that this is just a rip-off of the Lemons, but I don't care. Having to solve the puzzle of how to get these rats from one side of Krusty's factory to the other, just to straight up murder them, was so satisfying. A little dark, but so satisfying. There have been a lot better Simpsons games, but for us, this was the best we got on the SNES.
What the hell was that?
It is the age-old question. Do you pick the Lion King game or the Aladdin game? Now, I love both, but Aladdin just edges it for me because, unlike with Lion King, I don't lose my sanity playing this game. Aladdin might just be the funnest game on this list. There is so much to love about this game. For one, it's Disney. It's freaking Disney. It has that boss-ass Aladdin soundtrack, and you're working your way through Agrabah, whooping on all the Sultan's guards. And this game is not easy, it's challenging. To this day, I still struggle with the cave level and that final level where you've got to fight Snake Jafar. This game is just so radical. I still love it. If I am doing a top 10 favourite console games list, you can bet your ass there will always be a wrestling game in it. The question is, which wrestling game and how high do I rank it? And that's a tough question to ask because I love them all. Royal Rumble, WrestleMania the arcade game, WWF Raw, these were all on the SNES. But I have to go with Super WrestleMania, as it was the first wrestling game I ever owned on a console, and I adored this game. As a kid, getting to play as your heroes, the likes of Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, British Bulldog, the Road Warriors, Undertaker, Ultimate Warrior, Shawn Michaels, and you'd get to fight against the best baddies in wrestling history like Ted DiBiase, Psycho Sid, and Papa Shango. God, it was a dream come true. I have owned practically every wrestling game ever made, but it all started with Super WrestleMania on the SNES. Anyone that grew up in the 80s and 90s will agree that the 90s was the greatest era of NBA history. You had legends still playing like Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, and then you had the greatest players coming in. You had Barkley, Shaq, Hakeem the Dream, Karl Malone. It's not even close. It is the greatest era in basketball history, and NBA Jam was the perfect example of that. In NBA Jam, you'd get to face these icons in teams of two. You'd be flying through the air to dunk a ball that was on fire. You'd be hitting threes from mid-court like a proper G.
From downtown!
And my brothers were goddamn idiots. Every time we'd play NBA Jam, they would snatch the joypad and choose the Bulls. Now, the Bulls were the best team of all time, but in this game, I think you got to play as Pippen and Horace Grant. And I would slowly pick up the joypad like a proper gangster, and I would pick the Charlotte Hornets. You had the Grandmama, Larry Johnson, and Big Zoe Alonzo Mourning. Nothing beat the Charlotte Hornets in that game. If I pick the Hornets, you ain't beating me on NBA Jam. I played this game just the other day at Pixel Busters Arcade, and I am still the god of this game. Step up, challenge me. I will wipe the floor with anybody playing NBA Jam.
Knock knock! Who's there? Boom shakalaka!
Street Fighter 2 is by far the best Street Fighter game, and it might just be the best fighter game of all time. Line them up, give me Killer Instinct, Mortal Kombat, Tekken, Virtua Fighter. Street Fighter 2 smokes them all. My mum bought me Street Fighter 2 for the SNES because I was costing her a small fortune. Every day after school, I would spend hours at the video store on the end of our estate playing the arcade version of Street Fighter 2. I would throw in 50p after 50p after 50p. So yeah, my mum gave up and bought me my own copy, and I love Street Fighter 2. Before there was dozens of useless characters thrown in, before the crossovers with Marvel, before that shite Jean-Claude Van Damme film, this is the definitive version of Street Fighter. You had E. Honda, Blanka, Guile, Ryu, Chun-Li, Zangief, Dalsim, and my guy was always Ken. Street Fighter 2 was wicked.
You win.
Like I said, the SNES was my first proper console from the ages of about 5 to the ages of about 8. And there was nothing better at a sleepover with your mates, at a birthday party, at a school toy day, than busting out Super Mario Kart. Friendships were made and ruined by this game. There have been some absolute iconic Mario Kart games. Classics like Mario Kart Wii, Mario Kart 64, and to this day, I still play Mario Kart 8 Deluxe with my daughters. But I was there. It all started in 1992 with Super Mario Kart. It was such a big deal. Now you could pick between Mario, Luigi, Princess Peach, Yoshi, Bowser, Donkey Kong, Toad. You were plowing through Ghost Valley and Bowser's Castle. Every single person owned this game on the SNES, and to this day, it is a staple of any video gamer's collection. And I have to consider myself lucky that I was there at the start of the Mario Kart phenomenon. I know that I use words like love and great and best and favourite way too much. I adore everything, that's my curse. But Super Mario World on the SNES, it is on another level. It's not just the best SNES game, it's the best Mario game, period. I have Mario running through my veins. I was raised on Mario. The first game I ever played was Mario 3 on the NES. I would play Dr. Mario on my Game Boy when we'd go on school trips. Every Saturday morning, I'd get up extra early to put on Live and Kicking to watch the Super Mario Bros. Super Show. I was the first in line to see the Mario Brothers movie with John Leguizamo and Bob Hoskins. I freaking love that film. And now I'm 38 and nothing has changed. I still play Mario Kart and Luigi's Mansion on the Switch with my daughters. I'm covered in Mario tattoos. But it never got better than Super Mario World. To this day, when I play it, it turns me back into 6-year-old little G, sitting in his Super Mario Brothers pajamas, eating his Super Mario Brothers cereal. Super Mario World is everything a Mario game should be. The gameplay, the graphics, the soundtrack, getting to ride Yoshi for the first time, iconic level ups like Cape Mario, Balloon Mario, Winged Yoshi. It has the greatest lineup of villains in any game. You've got Big Boo, Iggy and Roy Cooper, Goombas, Wigglers, Charging Chuck, Monty Mole, Dino Rhino, Bullet Bill, Magic Cooper, and of course the OG gangster himself, Bowser. Every single level is classic. You've got Yoshi's Island, Chocolate Island, Valley of Bowser, and goddamn Forest of Illusion. I spent weeks trying to figure out how to get out of that goddamn forest. Super Mario World is perfect. Now, this is usually where I'd say get in the comments and let me know your favourite, but it has to be Super Mario World. Nobody could have picked anything but Super Mario World as the best SNES game. I mean, there are other classics out there like Star Fox, Earthworm Jim, Lion King, Killer Instinct, but it's gotta be Super Mario World, right? I know what you could do. Get in the comments and let us know which console you want us to cover next. Now, we've done the SNES, we've done the PS1 and the N64. I would love to do one of these for the GameCube or the Wii or the PS2. Let us know in the comments, what console should I do top 10 favourite games for next? And I'll catch you guys on the next one. G out.
Boom shakalaka!